Hey everyone, it's Tara. I hope you are ready for a all-level Vinyasa class. So let's come to our mats. Take a seated position. You can cross your legs. You can do half lotus, full lotus, whatever you fancy. You can bring your hands to heart center or palms open on your knees. You can even take a mudra if you're feeling classy. Close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply in and out through your nose. Feel your belly rise and fall with the inhales and exhales. Begin to just relax. Now let's move into what's called Ujjayi Pranayama, or our victorious breathing. So it's this audible breath that will guide our minds through our practice. So constrict the back of your throat and try to pretend like you're fogging up a mirror with your mouth closed, or you're Darth Vader but you can't open your mouth. So inhale. Couple more. Awesome. Okay, now meet me in a tabletop position. So hands directly under your shoulders, knees directly under your hips. Inhale, drop your belly, put your tailbone and your head up towards the sky, cow pose. Exhale, tuck your navel to your spine. Begin to arch your back, tucking your tailbone and your chin to your chest. Cat pose. So inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, navel to spine, cat. Go with your own breath here. You don't have to follow me. Just do what feels right. And just switch from cat to cow. This is just massaging our spine, warming up our body. Couple more. And when you're ready, meet me back at a neutral spine tabletop. Drop your hips onto your feet, extend your arms out in front of you, and drop your face towards the mat. This is called child's pose. Please go to it whenever you need to rest. This is a very restorative pose. It's very calming. So just take a few breaths here and get familiar with it if you don't already know what child's pose is. And here you can take your knees wider or closer together, whatever you feel like. And then when you're ready, meet me back into tabletop. This time we're going to tuck our toes and send our hips up and back for downward facing dog. So walk your dog out a little bit, taking one heel up and the other heel down. You can lift a leg, you can open your hip, you can do whatever you want here. Drop your head, push your chest towards your thighs. One more big deep breath in. Exhale, come really high onto your toes, bend your knees, and then jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, shoulders down your back. Exhale, fold your chest toward your thighs, look between your knees. Inhale, rise all the way up, hands above your head, palms facing, and bring your hands to heart center. Close your eyes here. Ground your feet into the earth. And just feel the energy from your feet all the way up to your knees, coming up into your back, into your shoulders, and shooting up the top of your head. Extend your arms up, engage every part of your body, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders down the back. Exhale, hands on the mat, step back, top of a push-up, lower down slowly, bottom of a push-up. Inhale, scoop your chest, upward dog, or you can do cobra here. Exhale, come back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. Exhale all your air out, come high on your toes, bend your knees, jumper step to the top of the mat, half lift, and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms facing, and exhale, fold back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, top of a push-up, lower down slowly. Scoop your chest up, upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. High on the toes, bend your knees, step or jump, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms up, facing. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms on the mat, step back, top of a push-up, lower down slowly, elbows hug your ribs. Scoop your chest up, look up. Exhale, downward dog. Exhale all your air out. Jump to the top. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And hands to heart center. Take a few breaths, close your eyes. Root your feet into the mat. Lift your hands. Bend your knees, sit back into your heels, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands on the mat, step back, top of a push-up, lower down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your right foot, step it between your hands, pivot your left foot. Make sure your hips are square. As you lift your torso and arms up, this is called warrior one. Bend into that front knee really deeply. And exhale, hands back to the mat. Step your foot back, lower down slowly. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your left foot, step it between your hands, pivot your right foot. Lift your torso and arms up. And exhale, hands back down to the mat. Step back, lower down. Inhale, scoop your chest. Exhale, send your hips back. Take 5 breaths here. High on the toes, bend the knees, jump to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Bend your knees, sit back into your chair. And fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands on the mat, step back, top of a push-up, lower down slowly. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take your right foot, step it between your hands, pivot your left. Warrior one. Hands down to the mat. Chaturanga dandasana. Upward dog. Downward dog. Take your left foot, step it between your hands, pivot your right foot. Warrior one on the left. Hands back down to the mat, step back, chaturanga. And take 5 breaths. Exhale your air out, jump to the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Sit back on your heels, chair pose. Rise all the way up. Hands to heart center. And that was our warm-up. So now we're going to flow through a sequence that I created. But before we do that, let's breathe a little bit more. So sit back onto your mat, cross your legs, and breathe. When you're ready, stand up, come to the top of your mat, lift your arms up, palms facing, and sit back down into your chair. Bring your hands to heart center this time. We're going to hook our left elbow over our right knee and use that leverage to spin your chest up towards the ceiling. Couple more breaths. And inhale back to center. Now we're going to hook our right elbow over our left knee, spinning our chest up. Try to keep your bottom as low as possible. And inhale back to center and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place your hands onto the mat, step back, top of a push-up, lower down slowly, bottom of a push-up, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Now take your right foot, lift it up into the air, step it through, pivot your left foot, cartwheel your arms up, warrior one. Make sure your arms are at a T. You can flip your palms up to spin your shoulder blades down your back. If you do this, make sure to bring your hands back down. Our drishti, or our gaze point, should be down our middle finger. Couple more breaths. Now shift all your weight onto your right foot. Pick your left foot up. Cross your left thigh over your right thigh, hooking your left foot behind your right calf. Take your left elbow into the crease of your right arm, and then intertwine your hands until your palms are facing, and then sit down. This is called eagle. Couple more breaths. Unwind your body. Bring your right hand down to the mat. Bring your left hand and your left leg up for a half moon balance. So you're trying to spin your chest open so that you're looking up at your left thumb. Couple more breaths here. Now look down, ground into your right foot, and begin to float up into warrior three. Some people call this airplane. So it's okay to be a little wobbly. You can bring your hands above you or beside you. Couple more breaths. And then bring your foot to the back of the mat. Keep your heel up, but bend into your front knee. This is called crescent lunge. You can look up and back like a baby back bend. And bring your hands back down to the mat. Step your foot back, and let's go through a vinyasa. So upward facing dog, downward dog. Now take your left foot high into the air. Step it through, pivot your right foot, cartwheel your arms. You can do the spinning thing if you want. And look down your middle finger. Couple more breaths. Now shift your weight onto your left foot. Cross your right thigh over your left, hooking your right foot behind your left calf. And now we're going to take our right elbow into the crease of our left arm, intertwining our hands for eagle. Sit down as low as you can. If you're shaking, that's a good thing. Just stay with it. Unhook your body. And now we're going to bring our left hand down and our right hand and our right leg up towards the sky for half moon. Try to look at your right thumb. Stack your hips. Now look down. Root down into your left foot as you lift your body for warrior 3. What helps find the balance in this pose is if you look at the floor or something that's not moving, you just find one spot and focus on it. Now bring your right foot back to the back of the mat, heel up, crescent lunge. You can do a mini back bend here if you did it on the other side. Couple more breaths. Exhale, bring your hands back to the mat. Vinyasa it out. Take a few breaths in downward dog. Walk it out, do what you need to do. And now we're going to flow one breath, one movement. So when you're ready, lift your right foot. Step it through. Inhale, warrior 2. Shift onto your leg. Let's go into eagle. Unwind, come into half moon balance. Look down, come into warrior 3. I know it's hard. Step to the back of the mat, inhale, crescent. Go through a vinyasa. And lift the left leg. Step it through, warrior 2. Come into eagle on the left. Left arm, left leg down. Right arm, right leg up. Look down. Come into the warrior 3 balance. Heel to the back of the mat. Crescent lunge. Vinyasa. So now what I want you to do is to flow through that sequence on your own breath. So I'm going to be saying the poses on my own, just in case you forget them. So right leg up, warrior 2, eagle, half moon, warrior 3, and crescent. That's it. It's a pretty easy vinyasa flow. So just go through it on your own. Finish both sides and then meet me into downward facing dog. Walk out the dog. If you want, you can do an inversion here. Headstand, arm balance. Whatever you feel comfortable doing, whatever is in your practice. And then we're going to come from downward dog. We're going to shift forward into plank. and hold. Really draw your abs into your back, or what's called Uddiyana Bandha, just pulling your navel to your spine. It's going to make you really light. Push out of your elbows or your shoulders. This is what's going to make you a lot stronger. So just hold with it. Stay with me. Couple more breaths. You can do this. And shift back, downward dog. Now we're going to come onto our elbows, but stay in downward dog. This is called dolphin pose. So just hold here. This is going to make your shoulders a lot stronger. It's also going to prep you for doing forearm balances. You can do this, come on. Stay with your breath here. This is what's going to get you through the long holding yang poses. And come onto your knees. So now we're going to come onto our bottoms. We're going to go into boat pose. So you can do a half boat, you can even hold on to your legs. Just make sure your spine is really long and straight here. You can let go if you want. Just find that sit bone balance and stick with it. And exhale, we're going to lower down slowly. Don't come all the way onto the mat, just hover. This is called canoe. So inhale, use your abs, come back into boat and hold. Spine is long, draw your navel to your spine. Uddiyana Bandha. And exhale, lower to canoe. Inhale to boat. Exhale, canoe. Inhale to boat. Exhale to canoe. 2 more, come on. Inhale to boat. Exhale, canoe. Inhale to boat. And lower all the way down. Good job. Pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. And then rock all the way up. We're going to move on to our bellies. So rest your head on the mat. Bring your hands beside you. Take a breath. Just relax for a second. And on an inhale, we're going to lift our chest and our head, and then our arms and our legs and our thighs off of the mat. This is called locusts. This is such a great back strengthening pose, which is also a part of your core if you didn't know that. So hold and try to get as high as you can, squeezing your buttocks so you can get higher, drawing your shoulder blades down your back. If you want more of a challenge, bring your arms out in front of you. Five more breaths. And release. Come all the way onto the mat. Let your face just relax on the side of the mat. Now we're going to push up into tabletop. We're going to take our right knee, bring it right by your right hand, right behind it. Swing your foot so it's kind of behind your left hand and begin to scoot your left leg back so it's straight up behind you. Try to make your right leg as parallel across the mat as possible. It's okay if it's not perfect. Inhale, lengthen your spine, look up. Exhale, fold your chest over your right leg. This is called pigeon pose. This is such a great hip opener. Really great if you're practicing for the splits. Try to make your hips square here. And really sink your hips down towards the mat. Try to make sure your face isn't tense here. Try to smile, breathe. Try to go a little deeper if you can. Sometimes it takes a second for your muscles to warm up and your ligaments to stretch. These are called yin stretches. They stretch all the parts of the body that we didn't get to when we were doing our sun A's, sun B's, and our free flows. So really just surrender here. Find that place where you don't want to go and just try to stick with it with your breath. Just a few more breaths here. And inhale, slowly rise up. Bend your left knee and try to grab your left knee with your arm. And you can come into mermaid here. Or if you want, you can just keep bending the knee so your hamstring is getting a really good stretch. Couple more breaths here. And release. Let's come back to tabletop. And kind of shift your hips to the right and then to the left. Just trying to release any tension from doing those beautiful pigeons and mermaids. So now we gotta do the left side. So bring your left knee right behind your left hand and slide your foot so it's parallel across the mat. And begin to scoot your right leg back. Make sure it's straight behind you. You can look back and see. Inhale your chest up. And exhale, fold. Remember, we're finding that place of surrender. So find the place you don't want to go and breathe through it. Square your hips and sink in. We hold a lot of tension in our hips, so this is super great to do every single day. Just to really open our hips and make us free. Keep breathing, we're almost finished. Take one more really big breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale, lift up, grab your leg. Do whatever you did on the other side so you can do the mermaid. Or just grab your foot and pull it in. And release. Come back to tabletop. Shift your hips around, getting rid of any tension. Now let's come onto our bottoms for a seated position, legs out straight in front of you. Inhale your arms up and exhale, fold over your legs. Trying to bring our chest to our thighs here. So really pull your navel to your spine, elongate your spine, and fold down. You can bend your knees here. Do whatever you need to do. Just find that deep stretch. Exhale, release. Let's come all the way onto our backs, hugging our knees into our chest as we do so. Rock from left to right, releasing our lower back. Feels so good. And now drop your knees to the left side until your left knee touches the ground. Keep your shoulders on the mat, but bring your arms out to a T and look to the right. It's just an easy spinal twist that feels really good. Close your eyes, allow your face to be soft. And hug your knees back into the middle. And now drop them to the right. Extending your arms out, looking to the left, closing your eyes. Now bring your knees back to the center. Bring the soles of your feet together, place them on the mat, and allow your knees to just fall open naturally. Bring your hands by your side or above your head if you want a really full body stretch. Try to bring your feet as close to your buttocks as possible. This is just called butterfly. Wherever you feel the tightness in your groins or your hips, just allow the breath to flow there. Wherever the attention goes, energy flows. One more big breath in. And now place the feet on the mat. Keep your knees bent. And now we're going to do what's called bridge pose. So bring your hands by your sides. Draw your shoulder blades under your back. Inhale, squeeze your buttocks and lift your hips up. Keep drawing your shoulder blades under. Kind of walk your feet closer to your buttock and lift higher by squeezing your buttock muscles. If you have a full wheel in your practice, now would be the time to do it. And if you'd like to try the wheel, you just take your hands and kind of fold them back so that your fingers are pointing towards your hips, and then press up, looking at your fingertips so your back is really bending. 5 more breaths. And lower slowly. If you're in the wheel, make sure your shoulders touch the mat first and then your hips. And so now we're going to come into Shavasana, or final surrender. So just lay your body out on the mat, fully outstretched. Allow your feet to fall out to the sides. Bring your palms facing up by your hips. Allow your body to be heavy. Just let everything sink onto the mat. Close your eyes and allow your breath just to flow naturally in through your nose and out through your nose. Just take a few moments to give gratitude for this practice and really soak in everything we just did. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring some movement back into your body. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. And now come onto your right side, bending your knees into fetal pose. When you're ready, push yourself up, come to the seated position that we started in. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment of gratitude for this ancient practice that we are able to partake in. It was my joy to guide you today. The light that is within me also honors the light that is within you, that light of love, joy, peace, and happiness. Namaste.